The most crucial point was after like 26, 27 hours where I haven't slept yet, and I still had 60 kilometers left on the bike and a marathon, and I couldn't sort of see the end of it. I was destroying myself, that's for sure. Yeah, I mean, and you guys are also going to be destroying yourself.
So we shouldn't think about the 9 days that follows. We should think, this mountain pass, that's the goal right now. We just want to get up there, and then don't think beyond that.
Making sure that you drink and you eat properly. I'm excited to see how it's going to go.
There's Anders.
Hi.
Hello.
Your claim, limitations are only perceptions, is, I guess, a very very good applicable to what we're doing as well.
Yeah, for sure. Why did you decide to do this?
It was a fairly simple idea. I live in Bilbao in Spain now, and my parents live in Germany, and I always had the thought, hey, one day I want to ride from my new home to my parents by bike, and initially in just kind of the shortest time possible, and just get on the bike and get off the bike over there. But Tobias made a good point about, hey, if you do a ride like this, you can't exclude all the beautiful mountain passes along.
No.
and just leave them out like a chicken. Don't be a chicken. Let's go for the mountains.
Yeah.
So I got convinced by Tobias, who sent me a Komoot file with all the beautiful mountain passes, and it indeed looked very beautiful and scary. But now here we are. Now we do it, and we put our minds to it, and we are super motivated. And because it is, when things feel a little bit scary and crazy, then you are like, okay, I want to give this a shot. Like, you're extra motivated.
Yeah, it will be pretty much like 10 hours of riding for 10 days each, with an average of 240 kilometers and about like 4,000 meters vertical every day. This is gonna be crazy. And for like the normal, for our normal days in the past, this is totally unimaginable to do this.
Yeah, of course.
What were your like main or biggest challenges during the Iceman? And was it more physical or was it more mental? And how did you overcome it?
During the Iceman, it was both physical and mental, but in the end, it was mostly mental, I suppose. At least after 24 hours. Yeah, when your body is broken and your mind is also getting close to being broken, I think.
So you wanted to quit a couple of times?
Yeah, I wanted to. Well, my subconscious mind wanted me to quit after 500 meters on the swim already. So you have some doubts along the way, and I think the most crucial point was after like 26, 27 hours where I haven't slept yet, and I still had 60 kilometers left on the bike and a marathon, and I couldn't sort of see the end of it, and I was completely exhausted, both physically and mentally. But then, that wasn't really a choice, really. Since I could continue on the bike, I had to continue. That is the most crucial, and so, because when you start being too focused on where you need to, where you need to get to or where you need to be, then things can become overwhelming, and you need to avoid that.
So we shouldn't think about the 9 days that follows. We should think, this mountain pass, that's the goal right now. We just want to get up there, and then don't think beyond that, right?
Yeah, that's usually what I would do. Just take one sort of sub goal at a time. For me, it was 500 meters. Every 500 meters on the swim. On the bike ride, it was just 1 kilometer at a time, and on the run the same. So and whether you need to put them into like pathetically small goals. That for me, that's what's working.
How did you know that you were not destroying yourself? Like, how did you know that you were walking this?
I was destroying myself, that's for sure. And you guys are also going to be destroying yourself, because it's nearly impossible for the body to get used to that sort of strain. The goal is for you to succeed, right? To complete it. So
Yeah,
I
there's
would
no
always
time.
say, no, when there's no time, I would take it. I would take it easy. That would be my sort of be conservative in the beginning, and making sure that you drink and you eat properly, that you have a proper strategy for those things, and then do as much as possible to optimize your recovery between each day. So perhaps it's going to be the same for you, that the toughest days in the saddle are going to be day 2 or 3. And that means that, you know, you don't know how it's going to feel the next coming days. But you know, being aware that the worst days might be some of the first days. For me, my slowest kilometers of the 180 kilometers was from kilometer 5 to kilometer 10. That was my slowest 5 kilometer. And it took me 33 and a half hours to complete the bike ride, right? So it was a long damn bike ride. So I think that's right. Really, I mean, it's just taking things easy and being aware that the toughest moments are perhaps going to be in the beginning. Since you're doing so many heights, you know, elevation meters, I would just be focused on driving in high cadence, so low. I mean, not tough gears, and just keep your legs rolling, so you don't get so much, what do you call it? It's not acid. What do you call it in your thighs, in your legs?
The lactic acid.
Yeah, the lactic acid, exactly. That's what I would avoid as much as possible. And then when you're going downhill, try to get rid of that as well. And then make sure that you get all the right nutrients in terms of especially magnesium, I would say, and salt, because it's probably going to be warm as well. So that you're aware of all these things and have a specific. I mean, it was difficult for me during the Iceman because the conditions were so difficult to have to at least follow a proper nutrition strategy. But I would, you know, for you guys, I would really be sure. And since you're two riding together, you know, being aware of what it is you need and when you need it, and then just follow that plan. Because when you're going for so long and so many days, your nutrition and recovery are going to be, you know, you need to optimize that as much as possible.
Did you have a plan, calories per hour you wanted to eat?
But it depends on how much you're, you know, pushing the body, because there's also a limit to how many calories that you can take in. So it's finding a balance. And since you're going for so long, it's probably also going to be, you know, difficult to only do gels and bars. I figured out what is the because you could get bad stomach from that, right? To do that 10 days in a row.
I tried it out on Saturday. I did a 6.5 hour training ride, and I was intaking more than 500 calories per hour. 200 via drinking powder with iso powder, and around 300 with bars. And after 4 hours eating a bar every half hour, you feel it in your stomach. So much sugar when you normally do not eat sugar.
Exactly.
It's really stress. But you know, we talked to another sports professor, and he gave us the recommendation to not do 10-hour rides, but rather do 2 5-hour rides per day with a 2-hour break in between. So I guess we will see that we probably intake a lot of the calories via the drinks, and do maybe like 300 calories per hour intake, plus then in maybe a little meal with a little pasta or something in the break, so that you have some normal food also.
That actually sounds like a really good plan. I think it's actually a good idea to split it up into 2 or 5 hours, and then do 2 hours between, and then, you know, when you get in, have a solid meal, and then if you can, like, sleep for 30 minutes. Sleep right after training, and not more than just 30 minutes is fine, but sleep right after it does a lot to your recovery.
When you go with the formula that derives from the watts that you so from the average power that you pedal, then it's probably something between 400 and 500 calories or 550 calories that we will burn. Apart from your challenges during the Iceman, you did a lot of preparation and a lot of training beforehand. I followed it on Instagram. with all your ice baths and a lot of excessive training hours in the cooling container and whatever. So what were your like biggest challenges during the preparation, and maybe what helped you staying focused, staying always on during the preparation?
I mean, for me, it was mapping out what are all the challenges and what do I need to, you know, take care of. So I just made a long list, have an overview of what is most important, and then taking one thing at a time. So just getting an overview of everything, and try to think of what are possible scenarios. Yeah, I mean, for you guys, for instance, one thing was that I mean, during the Iceman, a lot of stuff happened when you're sitting on a bike for 33.5 hours. A lot of things happened that you didn't anticipate. For instance, my hands were completely sore because there's no suspension in a fat bike, and I was going like this all the time. So I had to, you know, we had to come up with a solution to put something around the handlebars. But also, you know, you guys need to think. Yeah, I would look at what are unforeseen sort of scenarios that could happen on day 5 or day 6, where you need to have, you know, could you get blisters, you know, on your fingers or on your, you know, what are all these likely scenarios? Try to think of those, and then what you could do to prevent them, you know. For instance, you know, having cream for your ass. It sounds, you know, simple,
I was
right?
thinking.
So what are you training for next?
I can't reveal just yet, but hopefully in 2 weeks' time it will be official. But it's gonna be a
nice.
It's gonna be challenging perceptions again, but just in a different way. How much you training right now?
I would say around like 300 kilometers per week, roundabout, plus a little workout here and there to do like the exercise for back and core and stuff like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty much
stretching. Do you do stretching and mobility?
Yeah, sure, every day.
Okay, cool. Excited to hear about your new challenge then. It looks like you're in the preparation already.
I am very much.
I think we could take away some good advice, especially from a person that's very credible with your experience. So thank you very much, Anders, for today.
Of course, I'm excited to see how it's gonna go. Awesome.
Okay.
All right,
then.
guys.
Yeah, have a good rest time in the gym. Bye, Anders.
Thank you. See you.
Bye, Anders.